back, and today we are hanging out with City Star. Oh, Charlie. Did I get it right?
Star, Charlie.
City Star, Charlie. So, but who is joining us now?
Okay, so this is the hot two.
The hot two?
Yes, Kojo Akoto Boateng.
Okay, Kojo.
AKA Headmaster.
Put your hand up for Headmaster. All right. Headmaster got it right. And
I need drums. I need the drums to
okay,
play.
this one is coming. Give us drums, man.
Richard the Last Guy.
Richard the Last Guy. Oh. What's the name?
Rako the Rakaka.
Rako the Rakaka.
And there's a response.
Hey! My goodness. So, Akoto. Oh, Headmaster. I should call you Headmaster.
Yes, you're right.
Akoto, Headmaster. This man, his real name is Richard Deadly Sky. Richard Deadly. Tell me about your experience at City. You were with Solid?
No, I was with Ultimate Radio. Before
okay.
that, I was with Capital Radio, all in Kumasi.
All in Kumasi?
Yeah, and then I joined City.
So you came to City straight from Kumasi?
Straight from Kumasi.
Fresh?
Straight from Osekrom.
Really?
Straight from the fufu bowl. I had to come straight and join something meaningful. You know, every person wants to be a part of something meaningful. And if you follow radio or you follow the media, I was with Capital Radio. And we used to pick Citi FM signal. So I would listen to the news, I would listen to the breakfast show, and it made sense. Citi communicated, Citi handled the issues. And as a broadcaster, I wanted to be a part of something really worth it. And the opportunity came. I met Bernard, I met Samens. They were like, come work with us. And I was like, hallelujah.
Where did you meet them?
I met Bernard at Citi. I actually quit radio because I felt for a very long time I wasn't getting what I really wanted to get, as in make an impact in the society, make a change. So I quit radio and I was running a small outfit. I came to Accra to launch a brand and we went to Citi to deliver something to Samens, his own shirt, and to invite him to come for the launch. And then I talked to Bernard. I talked to Samens first and he took me to Bernard. And Bernard was like, I've heard about this man. Kojo, would you like to work here? I was like, yes. It's been a dream because I've been training for 8 years for this.
Wow.
So I spoke to Jessica. They gave me a place, and I was so thankful for that. And it's been worth it for about 7-8 months now. I think I've been doing all that I wanted to do in my life.
Wow.
And it's at City.
Wow. That is cool. Richard Deadly Sky.
Hey,
Richard, I have a bowl to pick with you, because all this wahala about, 3 million? You started it. This man started it, though.
Well, my job basically is to ask questions. And I don't know, I just ask questions.
Were you shocked?
I was really shocked that a Deputy Minister of State will go on the record, speaking to Ghanaians and indeed the world, and say that $3 million had been put on a plane, and that and that there were national security persons, the police, who were protecting it for about 3 days or so just to get clearance and take it to Brazil. I was scandalized.
So was I, and everybody else listening to you.
Yeah, that's right. Text messages were coming in. Is this guy serious? And what actually killed it for me was when I asked him a certain line, and then he answered the question, and for some reason, he said, oh, wait, I'm not telling you so that you go and tell people. Which is to say that, in any serious country where people are hungry, they would have marched on that plane. And
so he was telling you that this is just between the two of you?
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, he was on radio.
It just happened to be on there. But I've told you about this vetting thing. We have to, this vetting
serious, and they started today,
How did you go through the vetting?
I think sometimes when people come on air, radio is, I don't know, maybe they don't know the gravity. And I think also, credit to Sky, a good interviewer will get you to say things that the public need to hear that you want to hide. So maybe we have to credit Sky for the line of questioning that brought out that fact. I don't know.
Yeah. But Sky, when you're interviewing people, do you set them up?
No, I get that question a lot. I mean, people assume that, oh, Richard Sky is coming to set you up. I mean, if you look at the history of interviews we're talking about, Dr. Kwabena J, Nyaunu, you talk about, General Mosquito, I mean, one of those interviews that made it to the Supreme Court. And, I mean, you can mention many interviews. And people assume that you're setting them up. I just try to ask the question that the person out there would have asked if he was sitting in the chair. And I do not have any remorse, or I don't feel for the person sitting in the chair. I just ask the question. If you have to ask, just ask. They won't kill you for asking. And it's his job to answer, and that's what I do. I mean,
you get frustrated sometimes, or you just keep it cool and...
I mean, when you're speaking to politicians, most of the times you know it when they are telling a few lies here and there. Because, I mean, you would have read a document, maybe it happened in Parliament, you would have read a document, and you know the history very well. What happened, say 6 years ago, or 8 years ago. So you have the history in your mind. You were there on the floor of Parliament when John Dramani Mahama was making a certain argument, or you were listening to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo during his days in Parliament. So you have the history. You are able to recollect that immediately, and when you throw it in, and if the person is not alert to it, I mean, he takes the fall.
And boy, do they fall. Headmaster, what are you are learning? What are you learning from?
To just make every second count. That's the thing. Because as we say, after the business news, you don't know what's coming your way. We try to make every second count. We try to make people think, actually, and start conversations. Because this is the time that we need to let listeners know that there must be change. And change starts with every individual, wherever you are. So working with Citi, everything we do is just time-bound. You have to make use of the space that you have. And the basic thing we try to do is to get to the listener and to make the listener know that in the end, every second was worth it. So if you hear Nanama speaking the way she does, if you hear Bernard trying to be the way he is, bully us some way to get us to, that there's a need, a pressing need. So we always go the extra mile for the listener. And that's just the experience.
I see. Bernard, show some love, man. Show some love. Bernard, you and Sky, do you sometimes consciously play good cop, bad cop?
I think for most issues, there are two sides, to be very honest with you. We never know the full story. So something may be apparent to 5 people, but that's not the full story. So, and it's something we try to do to, some people say we play the devil's advocate because, you don't have all the sides of the issue represented. And because you were not there, you can't tell. So we try to have a balanced conversation, but there are things which are so obvious. Like the 3 million on the plane, everybody knows it's not correct. But there are certain issues that you need to try and bring different perspectives because you have different people of different political persuasions listening to you. So you can't assume that this view you have, the initial view, is right. So sometimes, and because the other thing I need to say is that the different people have different strengths. So Sky is a strong political correspondent, over 8 years of parliamentary reporting. So when it comes to the political issues, we defer to him. Okay, now Godfred comes with sports, but he's very solid in many things because he's doing a PhD. Okay, Nanama has a very strong human rights kind of background. And then Kojo is like he did some sort of engineering type of course at Tech. So he understands infrastructure issues. So you realize that these 4 people bring different perspectives to bear on the same issue so that people have a more wholesome, rounded, not just everybody just saying the same thing, bashing along the same line. So even for the same problem, there are 3 angles to tackle it from. That's what we try to do every day with our program.
There's a promo that you play on the Weightier Matters. And Sky, what do you say? Lascivious Latinos?
The problem is the Latinate voluptuousness. the Latinate voluptuousness, of many of our women, and the Gallic laziness of many of our men.
Show some love, man. Oh, man. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, I'm not too sure what we were discussing at the time, but I wanted to sit with what I was saying within the context of what is wrong with a Ghanaian man and what is wrong with a Ghanaian woman.
Yeah.
And that took me to the realm of...
The Latinic.
Latinate, I mean, basically referring to the days of Latin and what the Roman folks were doing.
And it's got the Latinic voluptuousness?
The Latinate voluptuousness. I mean, voluptuous. I mean,
okay. Please write that down for me. Oh, wow. But no, you guys keep the morning so exciting, you know, and it's really, really amazing, man. And I know Bernard is married. Yes. Yeah, you came, we went through that.
Yes, we went. No, we don't want to go there.
We don't want to go, yeah. But Sky?
Yes, what's up?
Is Sky married?
No, I'm not married.
Oh, really?
But I have a beautiful daughter.
Wow.
Charlie, you know that thing.
I don't know that thing. What are you going to do?
Charlie, you know that thing.
I don't know that thing. What are you going to do?
That's why you have to invite me. And give me 4 balls of Banku. When I finish, we play Agbaja. When we finish the Agbaja,
then we get some Latinic voluptuousness.
Yes.
Young man.
When it comes to these things, I borrow the words of the politicians. It's in the pipeline. Yes, it's all in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Plans are far advanced. Yes, it will be in the budget for next year.
So is this pipeline in Kumasi or Zara?
Charlie, we are connecting from South Dakota. By the time it gets here, we won't be very old, but it's in the pipeline. In God's own time, things will happen.
Fantastic, fantastic. Wow. Before you go, you know, quickly, because Sky, you raised something about the Ghanaian attitude. Can we conclude something about, not the Ghanaian attitude, but the black attitude generally? Black, you know? What the guys would say, Modin Sunday.
Modin Sane.
Modin Sane, you know? Do you have a thing with that?
Charlie, this is too dangerous.
Too dangerous. I think it's a conversation. Maybe not today, but we must have this conversation, man. Because I think...
Okay, what I'll say is that mindsets are important. We discuss development and we look at infrastructure, policies. I'm getting convinced that the mindsets of people is the missing factor that we should work on, how people think.
Are you talking people or black people?
Because people think different. I don't want to form a relationship between the pigment and the thought pattern. But generally speaking, Ghanaians think a certain way when you compare us to, say, Nigerians or Ivorians.
Yeah.
And Africans generally think a certain way compared to Europeans.
Yeah.
You can have those safe generalizations. I don't want to go into the race issue. But we have to work on the way we think. That's just what I would say. And the thinking determines a lot of, is the soft issue of development, which we have neglected. So that's what I would say on this. As for the temptation about Modins and you
can go there.
No.
Kojo?
I think we must have the can-do attitude and the problem-solving approach. Usually when things happen, I'm talking for Ghanaians in general, when things happen, most people expect government to fix something. Maybe there's a small street in front of your house, and when it rains, it gets muddy and all that. You expect government to come and fix it for you. But usually, I believe that those are things you can easily fix on your own. Okay. So there are a lot of things we should identify, because the problem is very big, but it's in small fragments. So you identify a small fragment, you fix it, you move on to another. If we are lucky enough to have government to come to our aid to do the bigger ones, we do. If we are unlucky enough, then we go on the radio and tell them, hey, we need to fix the motorway, we need to fix education, we need to fix energy, then we push them to. But we need to start something on our own and get those up there to also, chip in something.
Deadly.
Well, I mean, I believe in whipping up people, to demand what they need to demand. But while they demand what is right, fully theirs, they also have a responsibility to do their part in making Ghana a better place for all of us. Basically, that's the reason why I've always said that, governance is too serious a business to be left in the hands of the ruling and the political elite. I mean, those of us who are being ruled or being governed, as Nana Majim and Asante would insist, because we are not living in a kingdom, we have a role to play in the governance of whatever society we find ourselves in. And it will have to do with the mindset, the governance, as you say, the mindset. I mean, what is right about Ghana today? Can we demand a lot more? That mindset, the mindset that we deserve better. I mean, that has been missing for far too long in what we do as a country. So I was excited that recently people were in the streets and asking that, look, we demand better because we are playing our part.
And that is the Latinic voluptuousness. Well, guys, you know, it was so much fun hanging out with you guys, you know. We thought today is all City Star.
Charley.
But I heard there was a song you're going to sing for me.
Oh, there was a day Richard's car was coming to work. It was raining, and he saw some security men.
Charlie, old men, we hunger catch them.
And they were trotting on the road. And the song they were singing, Ghana money, Ghana money, plenty people chop run away. Ghana money, Ghana money, plenty people chop run away. What's up? What's up?
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you all so much for coming here today, and the whole breakfast crew.
Thank you.
The city breakfast vigilante that I call. Bernard, great, Samens, Kojo, Nanama, Akoto, there are two Akotos, and the Delhi Sky. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Continue keeping it real, man, because that's what it is. All right, folks, that's it, man. Today was Strictly City, and